and welcome into the Rob and Kale Show. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us this evening. My podcast partner is in the upstate. He's one of the biggest Gamecock YouTuber on the planet, the most honest Gamecock fans you will find. He is Carolina Jackpot. What's up, buddy?
What's going on? How's everybody doing tonight? Got some folks getting in the chat section now. When you come on in here, hit the thumbs up. B2 the Rand says that's an easy 7 losses. Maybe more. You guys aren't going to bone good. Look, just shut the fuck up about the damn schedule for a minute, and we'll fucking go over it here in a few minutes. I'm so tired of these fucking lily-livered ass fucking naysayers. Nobody thought South Carolina was going to fucking go 5-7 this damn year. So you know what? They might fucking surprise some of you motherfuckers next year. Getting a little hot already. Already getting under my damn skin.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out. Jackpot already on
we
fire
know there's
here.
poor audio on Rob's end. We know he's got some internet problems. Somebody decided to drive up a fucking pole in his neighborhood. So he's got to do it just off his phone from like the data stuff or whatever. So,
well, I'm fixing it up right now with the computer. I'm going to try to bring it up on that, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I thought we'd talk a little bit about the schedule, and then we could go from there. Jackpot. I mean, it's kind of a brutal schedule when you really look at it. I mean, it is. And I'm not saying that, but I mean, every year is a brutal schedule. I get that, but holy shit with all that, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, but I mean, to the fan base, the ones that are bitching about it, I mean, you can't beat your chest about being in the SEC 1 minute and then the next minute turn around and bellyache about the schedule. I mean, it's tough. So
yeah, that's true.
I like the way they set it up. You got two conference games right after the opener, and then you get a game against Akron, and then I think they're off, and then they get into some of the more tougher games. So yeah, it's definitely.
It is kind of a brutal schedule there for a second though. When you really stop and think about it, I mean, it's the setup there where you have like that break, and then I think it's like, what is it? It's Oklahoma, Alabama, and then I mean it's just not what you want, you know.
Oklahoma, they're out Oklahoma and out Alabama, and then they play Lane Kiffin in there somewhere too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it just doesn't look good, you know. Kind of tough. So anyway, yeah, that's going to be an interesting set there for the Gamecocks, and but I also wanted to get in today with Shane Beamer basically coming out on Twitter, and it's like, you thought that hey, some coaches don't read Twitter, etc. Shane Beamer sure as hell does. I mean, it's a mess, man, when you really stop and look at it, you know.
I noticed that he's put up several tweets the past few days talking about he's going on recruiting trips with my man Clayton White and Coach Limbo. He's just doing that as a passive aggressive way to tell the fan base that he's not firing him.
Yeah, you think that's what it is?
I think that's definitely what it is. I mean, this is going to be his downfall. He's holding on to these guys because he's got a good recruiting class come in. He's picked up some good transfers. He's afraid to rock the boat. I mean, he's gonna end up what's the term? Writing his own pink slip. Because Clayton White sucks. I mean, he really does. Yeah, they fixed the defense the last 3 games of the season. Dude, they played Vanderbilt, terrible offense. Kentucky, terrible offense. And I hate to say it, Clemson, terrible offense. I mean, none of those teams provided any kind of challenge on the edge. I mean, but okay. He got it fixed, though. Got it fixed.
Well, you've also got the other end of it too, where, with the Clemson schedule, Clemson didn't score an offensive touchdown. So there's that's something else to think about too. But I'm also on the front of, you know what, with that schedule, you should be able to draw top players because they're going to want to come and play against, top level teams because they'll get more eyes on them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they'll get more exposure. I mean, absolutely. I mean, that was one of the
Yeah.
reasons for joining the SEC in the first place. Um,
Yeah.
I think. But I just we talk about that Clemson game and the offense holding them to no offensive touchdowns, and I mean you just got to
Right.
wonder. You got to wonder, was it what Clayton White's defense, was it what they did, or was it just Clemson's ineptitude? I made a video about that the next day. I think a lot of it had to do with their ineptitude. And
And
I'm not throwing a shot at the Tater Man here. That's
no,
just
look, well, you know what? I'll throw a shot at the Tater man. The Clemson offense was a shit show all season. They played against some shit po teams and they didn't play worth a damn. I mean, what was it? Jacksonville State had a better offensive performance against South Carolina with a tenth of the athletes that Clemson has, and they ran all up and down the field on them. And the Gamecocks needed a late fucking interception to win that game. Clemson
mhm.
offense has been the shits, and you know, Sweeney made the decision to fire Thomas Austin, who was a guy that um, was one of his homegrown guys, but he didn't do enough. And I think people are going to get pissy with me about this. CJ Spiller should not be the running backs coach.
in your
Grisham,
opinion,
hmm?
and I'd said something about this the other week too. Do you think that Garrett Riley was the biggest disappointing splash coordinator hire of the season?
You can definitely make an argument for that because essentially, if you look at Clemson's offensive numbers, they were basically the same. And they
Yeah,
weren't any better than they were the year before. So you could say that, but you could also you could also go under the adage of he didn't get his guys there. I mean, he was with it was Clemson remind like you remember the Dukes of Hazard? Dabo Sweeney's like boss hog. He has all these guys that are working for him. All shucks. I'm gonna hire my brother's cousin and all that shit to run the offensive
so
line
you
for
got
me here
so
and
you
there.
got so you got so you got Roscoe P. Coltrane coaching the
Yeah,
linebackers.
coaching the wide receivers, and then
Tutor Tutor Uncle Jesse's coaching the offensive line.
Uncle Jesse was coaching the offensive line, and none of that shit works. Those guys are loyal to you, and they'll sit there and they'll yes man you to death, and oh, you're the greatest ever, and all this and all that, and that's great. But in the end, you need somebody as an assistant coach that, in my opinion, will challenge you, like a Chad Morris or Brent Venables, who
Yeah.
I said this in the middle of the season. He was going down there and getting in Goodwin's face on the defensive side of the ball. He'd have done that one time. Venables would have laid his ass out right there on the fucking field and kept calling plays. He
Who
would
got
have
up in his
shook.
face?
Dabo Sweeney got up in Goodwin's face, the defensive coordinator this
Oh,
year.
oh, 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 oh. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like
Yeah,
yelling at him,
I
and,
don't
and
think. Yeah, Dabo wouldn't have done that. Brent Venables is crazy.
yeah, Venables would have skull fucked him right there
Look
on
at
the
the
field.
look of the man. Look at the look of the man. I mean, he just looks. He gives off serial killer vibes.
He does. Now they got rid of Lemansky Hall too, and Lemansky Hall, like the defensive line, wasn't the problem this year for Clemson. So let's make sure we put that out there too. But you know what? I mean, if you had to make some changes, I guess that's kind of the way you go. But I agree with the Austin firing. But Gresham should have gone too, and CJ Spiller should be an ambassador. That's what he should be. You can go and help recruit. I mean, make him an offensive analyst, whatever, but get somebody in there like I think I sent this video to Dennis Wilson today. They had somebody got video of Chris Rumpf out there working with the guys during bowl practice, And he basically told them, I don't know if you've seen this video or not, Jackpot, but it was like, look, that's not going to work. We're not going to play soft. You're not just going to just push somebody through. You strike and move through. I mean, actually coaching these motherfuckers up and basically letting them know we're not going to be fucking average here. That's what you need. It's the same way with Coach Luke on the offensive line.
How
You
does
know,
Dabo? I mean, how does Shane Beamer? Like, I don't get. How does he let Dabo hire a Gamecock?
yeah, a Gamecock that fucking ran his mouth about Clemson too. People forget that. He said at one point, "I don't think they'll ever win up there." You know what I'm saying? I mean, the guy is. I'm sure putting on that orange shirt is going to be a fucking hard thing for Chris Ruff to do. You know, but
Well, he's already been
I
there once.
I know, but still, I just and I'm not. I think Coach Ruff is great. By the way, I think he's going to be good. I think Coach
Now,
Luke
to
is
be
going to be
fair,
better.
he was there. He was there under Tommy Bowden. I think the standards probably weren't as high then,
Yeah.
or the
Well,
expectations, I should say. You didn't. You hadn't
um,
had a Brent Venables there by that time to kind of set the bar high.
yeah. Anyway, that's some of the stuff that I think needs to be changed. And Clemson's got Kentucky in this bowl game, and I think that's a. I said at the end of the season there that winning that South Carolina game was a big deal. I think that with this fan base, they better beat fucking Kentucky. I mean, seriously, you better beat Kentucky quick because if you lose to Kentucky in one season, you lost to fucking Duke and Kentucky. And I don't think the Clemson men's basketball team would lose to Duke and Kentucky this year, to be
Yeah, you
completely
lost to
honest
two
with you.
basketball schools. Um,
Yeah.
and I saw where Ray Davis is declared for the NFL draft, so he's not going to play in
Yeah.
that bowl game. That was a little bit surprising to me that Ray would do that. So that essentially really just pretty much takes away Kentucky's run game. They have one
What
backup
is
who's named Jefferson, who's decent. The guy they have that came from NC State is that's the one that he came on a visit to South Carolina, and I was like, damn, you couldn't even land him. Well, turns out he's no good. I think he rushed for like 100 yards this year, so yeah,
but
that's gonna be a wet fart of a game
yeah.
for
Well,
sure.
I agree with you on that. And it's like I think it's gonna be a shit show game, but on the other hand, I look at this Clemson team, and I wouldn't be surprised if they lost that game simply because I have no faith in that offensive staff at all. I just don't. You know what I mean?
You guys don't hardly. I mean, and I know we have a lot to leave, but you don't hardly have any receivers.
Yeah, there's that too. It's
All right, much
dog
better.
show, you know. I mean, it really is. When I really stop and think about it, it's like I don't. There's nobody on that receiving core that looks great, in my opinion. But then again, what do I know? You know
Not a damn thing.
exactly. Hey, can we talk about Shane Beamer today and the stuff he was saying on his
Sure,
on
I'm
on
always up for some Shane Beamer talks. My favorite person.
well, I think that the stuff with Beamer today and the stuff he was saying, we're not done yet.
He's froze. I think he just froze. Jay Shipes, thank you for the super chat. With college football turning into a big payday for athletes being funded by donations and collectives, will college football start putting an emphasis on the officiating? Refs seem to be the great equalizer this year. Good question. They were it was pretty rough. So we
They
have
were pretty rough.
two Robs now.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to I'm trying to use my regular setup here, but it's being silly. So I'm gonna have to that'll drop off in a second there. But look, yeah, that was a good super chat there from him. So that's good stuff. But anyway, The thing with him today, where he's talking about, hey, there's, we got more to come. I mean, that just shows you he reads the shit out of Twitter. I mean, I think he's on there every day, like doing his thing.
Yeah, I mean that's a good thing and a bad thing, I guess. You'd like for him to be a little bit more concerned about, I don't know, holding coaches accountable and doing the things you need to do instead of playing on the Twitter box. But then again, you have to be in touch too. So I
Yeah.
mean, I think he tweets and stuff more than any. I mean, I don't know of any other. I don't know. I don't. It's he's
Lane
very
Kiffin
Lane.
tweets a lot.
He's very Lane Kiffin like, in with the social media obsession. And I said this the other day too. He and Lane Kiffin both give off douchey vibes. Lane Kiffin gives off douchey vibes like he was the cool guy in school who always got in trouble and did things that made him a douche, like maybe seeing two or three girls at the same time, or something along those lines. Beamer is like the douchey guy from school, and I think as Uncle Lou put it, he was the one standing over in the corner picking his nose, getting picked last for dodgeball.
Yeah, I think there's that too. Well, what do you think about some of the players that you got from the transfer portal? I think it just came through tonight that Rocket Sanders officially signed with the Gamecocks. So there's that.
So I
Uh,
mean, that's a that's a good pickup in name. I mean, he had a really good season a couple of years
right.
ago, but yeah, the whole thing with him and the young man from North Texas, somebody's going to have to block for him. So they've got a lot of experience. They doesn't. I was listening to the. I'll get into it a little bit later on. The sports. South Carolina sports talk show tonight that comes on the radio. I don't know if you are familiar with what I'm talking about.
The one with Phil Kornblut and
Yeah. And they
yeah,
were
I
talking
used to
about.
work for them, so yeah, I know about them.
Okay, they didn't have anybody to walk on senior night against Kentucky, so um, everybody should be coming back, including Jalen Nichols, the one that was hurt, Marquis Anderson. I mean, you've got a lot of talent. Plus, you got a really good 2024 class coming in there, but you really don't. You really would like to not use any of them. Like,
Hmm.
I don't think Tree Babalade was probably supposed to even. I don't think he was probably supposed to even play this year. Um,
But you know
but I
what?
mean,
I mean, the fact that he did is a good thing.
it is.
You know what I'm saying? Because now he's got that under his belt, and hopefully he got all of his fuckery out of his system.
Yeah,
I mean
he
that's one
won
way to
some
look at it.
some like all SEC freshman awards a couple of weeks. So, um,
Yeah,
They already dropped. I'm pretty sure Jataeus Gear, or no, was it Jalen Kilgore was a freshman All American?
I think
right.
so. I think you're right.
But
Welcome to the show, sir. Congratulations, your power's on.
yeah, man, the heat's running. I don't need a jacket tonight, man. What a
I
time!
got a hoodie on. I just got over being sick about 4 or 5 days ago, and I feel like I'm getting sick again.
Oh, is that why you ended up taking the stream off the other day? Because you
No,
Um,
we just needed a night off. It wasn't a big deal.
yeah, there
oh,
was
I didn't
nothing
know if
going
it was like
on.
you got real sick. Papa B, hell yeah, I'm a Pepsi guy. It's made in the Carolinas, man. It's a superior drink. All right. So
So I'm
all
Actually,
looking
if
at
you
it.
look at the label on a Pepsi product, it says "Purchase New York" on it. So I don't know what the fuck they're talking about with the Carolinas, but
So here's
they're
here's
always
the
saying shit.
five.
there's a Pepsi plant in every big city.
That's probably what it is.
Here's
But
the five guys that you guys have got according to 247 Sports. Oscar Attaway, I think that's the kid from
North
North
Texas.
Texas. Rocket Sanders from Arkansas. Jared Brown from Coastal. Jaden McGowan from Vanderbilt. And DeAndre Jules, who was a defensive lineman from Pitt.
he just committed
So,
actually an hour ago. So he's a new
yeah.
addition.
Yeah, and then there's the guy from junior college too.
Well,
Jerome
and I've
Simmons.
been also reading that there's talks about them flipping a wide receiver that's committed to Texas A&M right now named DeBron Gatling. So,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Beamer, I mean,
Jabroni
I told
Gatling.
y'all, I told everybody this, that we all needed to pump the brakes. We got Beamer at the helm, and now what's he doing? I see a running back, I'll take a running back. All right, he gets him on campus and he signs the fucking papers, man.
Yeah, and
Beamer's
then they go fucking 5-7. Congratulations, you had a worse 3-year record than Will fucking Muschamp, and you still have your job.
he's recruiting better than Muschamp, and I'd wager
No,
he
he's
was in a
not.
worse
No,
situation.
he's not. No, sir. No, he's not. Please
Yeah, he
stop. No, he's
is.
not.
He
No, he's
absolutely
not.
is.
Holy shit, he's not. You're
What year
finishing.
did
You're right
Muschamp
now.
have
You're
back-to-back
you're right
five-stars?
now. You're right
He's
now. You're
What
recruited
year
what,
the
did
transfer
Muschamp have
17?
portal
back-to-back
better than
five-stars?
Muschamp, but Muschamp didn't
That's
recruit the
because
transfer portal.
they didn't have the transfer portal. He was within 2 or 3 spots of where Muschamp is. So I mean, you got to remember the guys that you brought in. I mean, who was the guy that
The two big
transferred?
ones were Zach Pickens and Birch. Those
Yeah,
were the only 2 5-stars he got
right.
his entire tenure.
So there you go. There you go.
Yeah, he got 2 in like 5 years. Beamer's gotten 2 and 3.
He's
Okay, but
gotten
that's
two
still
in
the
two
same amount.
years if you want to look
2
at
and 2.
it
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
that
Well,
way.
he's also with those 2 in 2 years. He's also got more losses than Muschamp had. So there's
He was
that.
in a worse situation. Fucking Muschamp won like 3
Wait a minute.
games when he got fired.
Hold on, sir. Muschamp came into a shit show too. Not that I'm defending him, but he came
It
into
was
a
not
shit show.
near as worse. Muschamp had a spurrier roster.
Muschamp came in. He was 1 year removed from
11
Steve
win season.
Spurrier.
Yeah.
That was a full
Okay.
Spurrier roster. It was much, much better, especially on the defensive end, than what Beamer was handed. So I don't know
All right.
why you're saying like.
I'm saying your
Especially-
coach is a fucking clown that kicks fucking coolers and breaks his foot. I'm saying your
is a
coach can't
fucking
go to a
clown.
fucking. Your coach can't. My coach has got national titles, sir.
Your coach gets fucking local police officers fired because he wants to go double the
I don't-
fucking speed limit
I
and get
don't.
the
I
fucking
don't.
ticket
I
thrown
don't.
at him.
I don't
Your
give a
coach is a
shit.
clown.
They should fucking know better. They should fucking know
Your coach
better.
wants to rip Tyler from
He
Spartanburg over the
wins.
phone. Some fucking
He wins
20-year-old.
national titles. Something
Not
you've never
anymore.
done.
Not
He's got
anymore.
2 national titles.
Not
And by the
anymore.
way, remember this too when you speak about Clemson. Clemson won a national title before your school won a bowl game. Remember that. Okay?
Hey,
Something
think he's
you
gonna
need
win
to
any more?
Nobody
understand.
cares about that
You think he's gonna
old
win any more,
worthless
Rob?
piece of tin they bought.
I think he will have I think he'll win. I don't know because it's hard to win national titles and be that elite, but I
When
guarantee
you
you they'll continue to be the best program in the state. They'll continue to out recruit the
They're not even the
shithole in
best
Columbia.
program in the state right
that
now.
was a long way to say
Yeah.
that was a long way to say that you don't think he's gonna win one. Because if you do, it would have been a
I
flat
don't
out
think
yes.
it's hard. It's hard to
Fir-
win national titles, but if you told me I had to pick one or the other to
It's not
coach my
hard in the
team, it's not even
ACC.
close.
Florida
They're not
State
going to
can
be
go
in
to the
the
Furman is the
SEC.
championship,
best.
man.
Furman is the best team in the state right now.
Get the fuck out of here, Jackpot.
They're the best team in the
Sure.
state right now. You guys
Oh, okay.
are trying to hope for a win over Kentucky.
All
By
right.
the way, did y'all see freaking Grayson McCall entered the portal? How long has that man been at Coastal?
At
He's
least
pretty good.
7 or 8 years.
Yeah,
He's
I
a pretty
mean,
good
Jesus.
player.
I think he was there when Coastal was FCS.
He was there before COVID, wasn't he?
Yes.
He's going to UCF, right?
No,
Oh, has
NC
he
State.
announced that? I didn't see where he announced it.
I read where he may go to NC State or I'm sorry UCF, but we'll see.
You know,
What are you dealing with,
that's
Jackpot?
one
They're
thing.
possibly eight?
I like Gus Malzahn, man. I'm surprised he didn't get picked up. I think he's doing a decent job at UCF. I think Auburn really
Yeah.
screwed the pooch when they fired him. Like, what the hell was the thought process there?
Maybe Ray Tanner should
They
throw a
wanted to
set of
win
nuts
12
and go get him.
games, 12 games a year, and win the SEC or SEC West. I mean,
He has a
got
national
only beat
title, doesn't
Alabama
he?
50% of the time.
Did Cam Newton ever win the national title, or did they lose to Florida State? Was that the year Jameis won it?
Yes.
Okay. I couldn't remember if he had won it or not. But I was just thinking about that. I mean, UCF, they've been decent since he's taken over. Auburn's just been the toilet.
They were
basically.
weird this year. UCF was like 1 week they'd blow somebody out, like next week
Exactly.
they'd almost beat Oklahoma, and then the next week you turn around and they're getting blown out.
Well, moving on, I wanted to talk about the transfers. I saw it was Brad Crawford put out a tweet talking about the running backs we brought in. Kale, you'll like to hear this. So this is what we added between the two of them: 4,746 yards from scrimmage and 35 career touchdowns just between those two running backs. I think between them and Dontavius Braswell, we're probably solid in the running back room because I'm pretty sure both Rocket Sanders and Attaway have 2 years of eligibility, right?
Rocket Sanders have one. Attaway, I think, has one, and he's trying to apply to get a red shirt for 2021. He was sick or something all year, and he couldn't play, so that should be
Okay.
fairly easy. I mean, they freed Tez, so surely they can give that guy a red shirt for not playing.
Yeah. Well, the NCAA is just I think they're going to be dissolved at some point in my lifetime, man. I don't see them continuing governing football. They're just losing their grip, day after day with this transfer nonsense, man.
Falcons fan 1020 says, God, South Carolina fans really set themselves up for
The dumb
disappointment with
ones.
their expectations.
At what
What
point was I?
expectations?
Yeah,
What are we over here predicting? I mean, I'm not over here predicting an
exactly.
SEC title game appearance.
I
I
wasn't
think
in preseason. I was telling people to pump the brakes.
God damn it. Read the comment from Lady V there. I think that's what he was referring to. Do y'all think the Gamecocks can go 10-2 with the roster coming in? I think that's what he was talking about.
No.
I thought he was talking about me. I was like, I know. I've been
Uh,
on the record saying pump the brakes last year at least. I
okay,
predicted
I
Michigan to win.
apologize, Falcons fan 1020.
Yeah.
I was looking at Frothy Tavern. I think we can get 500. A lot of our hard games, apart from that Alabama and Clemson game, are at home. We've got favorable buys. We're gonna have a much improved O line. I don't see how they're saying Carolina ain't sniffing 50%. That's just a boneheaded comment. But I don't know. I know y'all haven't given y'all's take yet on the schedule, but what do y'all think?
Man, it's a tough schedule. Like I was telling Rob, there's a lot of people all up in arms about how tough it is. I'm like, well, how tough it laid out. Well, first of all, you knew who the opponents were going to be, and you knew
Yeah,
where you were playing them at. And now they're just like, oh, God, they got to play in Ole Miss and Alabama and Oklahoma. Well, it's like I told him,
yeah.
don't beat your chest about being in the SEC, then bitch about having to play an SEC schedule.
Exactly.
I can't
Well,
I can't see it from here, but I because fucking internet's stupid here, but Ole Miss comes to Columbia, right?
I believe
Yes.
so. Let me make
Yeah,
sure.
I
Yeah, they
mean,
Yeah, Ole
do.
Miss.
I'm anxious to see the reaction to Juice Wells when he comes back to
I've been.
Billy Bryce. I bet
I
they're
don't
gonna boo the fuck out of
listen,
him.
Rob. I don't know about the validity of this, but I've been seeing from two different sources today that there's a possibility he comes back to South Carolina.
Yeah.
He
That's because nobody wants
might.
to pay him what he wants.
But the 247 Sports says that it's 100% that he's there. I don't know. I have no clue,
Yeah.
but we shall
Well,
see. I
listen,
mean,
if he comes back, I'll accept him with open arms, man.
Yeah, I
Come on
mean,
I'm
back
look,
to come on home.
yeah, I saw somebody talking about that today. Yeah, you got to. I mean, what is he? Yeah, I mean, what he did was a douchey move. It was a dickhead move, but
As
I
long as he
mean,
apologizes.
is that? Well, he ain't gonna do that. Is this any different though than like Deion Sanders acting a fool in 1988 when he played for Florida State? I mean, it's not really. I mean, it's just what they do.
Well, the main
And
difference is Dion was like a
anybody who would not
top 10
want him
talent.
back is just dumb. I mean,
Well, yeah, oh,
would you
yeah,
rather lose?
obviously.
Oh, well, we got dignity here.
Yeah,
We're
no,
not
you
going to
can't
no.
let him
do
back
that.
because
Look.
would you
Not
rather
with the
I
landscape
lose
of college football today, with how often players are moving. You just absolutely can't. I agree 100%,
Would you
Kale.
rather lose with dignity or I'd rather win with no scruples. Okay, I'd rather win with no fucking scruples. It's all about winning now.
And
what
I don't even
matters.
think I don't think you're losing pride or anything taking Wells back. I mean, it's just he fits into the team. Yeah, he made a mistake entering the portal, but to my knowledge, he hasn't taken an offer anywhere else. He's still a part of the roster, technically speaking. So,
I think if he comes back, then that's great. But I'm just anxious to see the reaction at William. I mean, he's gonna get fucking
Oh,
booed
he's
out of
gonna
that
get
damn.
hosed, dude.
well, that
Yeah, I
I'll
mean,
tell you
holy shit.
He'll
that
probably be.
first.
He'll probably be hurt that game. He probably will.
Who who will get? We won't be able to see it, but the rumors are DJ Uyunglele is going to sign with Florida State. Clemson has to go
What?
to Florida State. Yeah. I wonder who
Oh,
would get booed harder. Uyunglele going and playing at Clemson or Wells playing at South
no,
Carolina. It would
Clemson
be
can't be
pretty
mad at
damn close.
Uiagalelei.
Clemson
Y'all can't
doesn't
be
have
mad
any
at
reason to
DJ.
boo him. Wells playing at South Carolina because DJ didn't leave like a dickhead.
No, DJ. Yeah,
Uh,
y'all can't. And y'all wanted DJ to leave when he left. I was here. Y'all were
that's
calling
true, but
for
I
him.
bet. I mean, the thing of him going to Florida State, I bet that would piss some people off though.
Oh, it
Oh,
definitely would. It definitely would. But the thing is, like, he's already did his time at Oregon State. At that point, I don't see how you can hold any reference to him as a Clemson player if he's coming back and playing for Florida State. I mean, y'all
I don't think they should boo him. I mean, that's where his degree's from. So you
did he? I
know,
thought he graduated from Oregon State. Did he
I
graduate from
thought
Oregon?
maybe I read it wrong. I could be wrong.
I know Anderson graduated. Mario Anderson just graduated from Carolina, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
What a shithead he is, man. Fuck that guy. But
Why are you pissed off at him? He was pretty much
did you
told
see
to
what his
go,
dad?
right?
You saw what his dad, how his dad was talking.
Yeah, I mean, I respect what his dad did. The guy went out there and hung his balls out there for him, and they said basically, "Fuck that! You went out there and played against behind one of the worst offensive lines in the SEC and got your head kicked in. And you know what? Fuck you. We want you to leave because we're going to bring in these other two assholes." If I
Well,
were
we
his
should
dad,
have
I
just
would have
let
said
him
the same
die at
thing.
Division Two Newberry
Yeah,
then, and go fucking.
I don't have any disdain for Mario Anderson Jr. I mean, he didn't get out there on social media and show his ass and go on fucking
No, I
Instagram
mean,
live and act like a dumbass and get his damn haircut in the school. I mean,
That's
he
true.
just put his name in and left. I just kind of hated to see him go. I mean, he had a good story. I mean, I think he's had a rough childhood and stuff like that, and he always wanted to play for South Carolina, and he did, and I don't
Well,
know. They
that's the
damn
thing.
near
I don't
got him
like the
killed.
idea of South Carolina coming in and pulling him out of Division Two hell. Granted, he was playing well, but he says that he was getting recruited by other schools. Motherfucker, if you had an offer to play at Oklahoma, he would have gone and taken that. He was
he's
not
going
getting
to end up.
recruited by other high level schools, and South Carolina came, put him in a spotlight, made him a number one running back in the SEC for a SEC team, not in the SEC. And then he runs off from there.
His dad has no. His dad has every right to say that stuff because he was basically told, this is what we got coming. So I don't blame his dad. His dad should fucking and his dad even said you don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Well,
So I don't
That's true.
can't shit
That's
on
true.
you can't shit on Anderson. I mean the guy wanted to be a Gamecock and they were and you got to give Shane Beamer credit because like with Joyner he kept running him out there and putting him in positions where
well,
I mean let's be honest he wasn't really there. Maybe Beamer's like fuck it I'm not going to do that anymore.
you
You know.
can't tell. Well, you can't tell me if you watch that game in the first quarter when he was kind of into it with XT and he got body slammed. You saw that dude get up and wobble around. He had a concussion, man. It was pretty evident that he was fucked up, and
He didn't know
they
what
kept
planet he
putting
was
it,
on.
huh?
He didn't know what
Yeah,
planet he
they
was on.
kept
You're
putting
right.
him. They kept putting him back out there. You realize you didn't have Juju McDowell's was broke. He couldn't play, and then Joyner's what he was. I mean, he played a little bit. I mean, he wasn't healthy either. Fuck it. I mean, you don't put him out there if you don't have a run. Just go with the damn empty backfield. It didn't matter. You wasn't moving the ball anyways.
Right. And well, then that's the thing. Jackpot, would you have been pissed if it was your son out there?
Hell
I
yeah.
mean, I would have been fucking livid. And then at the end of the season, you tell my kid, fuck you. We're bringing in these other running backs. Of course, I'd be a
Well,
little
to be
pissed off.
fair, no, hold up, Rob. That timeline is messed up. Mario Anderson entered the portal weeks before we got Oscar or Raheem. Okay, he didn't enter the
You don't
portal
think?
because
Hold
we got.
on. You don't think that the coaches were sitting there saying, "Hey, we're probably working on these other guys, and we're
They
going to
weren't
go a
in the
different
portal at the
direction"?
time. They weren't in the
That doesn't
portal.
matter. They were still going. You don't think that behind the scenes they weren't doing and looking around?
I think they were going to get the Attaway guy regardless. I think he was a lead to
Right.
South Carolina anyway. If Mario Anderson had stayed around, I don't think they would have went all in on Rocket Sanders. Probably
No.
wouldn't have
You're
ended up
probably
with
right.
him.
You're
Yeah,
probably
and
right.
I don't think that there's a rule against it. I think the only time where you can actually give any credence to that is if one school is getting players consistently from another school, i.e., Florida State, South Carolina. It's not like we're going into Arkansas or North Texas consistently and taking their players. I mean, I don't think there's anything you can point to be like, oh, they were recruiting them early. You know what I'm saying? I so I
Yeah.
don't think it's fair. Granted, they probably did say we're going to take a running back in this cycle, just because
Right.
obviously we needed a fucking running back. We had two
Right.
people in the room, so maybe
Big,
that's
Big
it. But
Barney, Big Barney
yeah,
Ross
I don't know.
says,
I just
Big Barney
I don't know.
Ross says, if Clemson loses to Kentucky, Tennessee is going to laugh at you. If
Yeah.
Clemson
I'm
loses to
sure.
Kentucky, Jackpot is going to laugh at you.
Look, and that's what I'm saying. I thought that the whole thing with Clemson and everything with this Kentucky game, that they have to win this game, and it's one of those games where Mark Stoops is sitting there, and I'm sure that he's running his mouth about, oh, that's a two-time national championship team over there, and they don't respect you at all, and you know he's probably running his mouth, but half of y'all wouldn't have even been able to play there. He's building this up like it's the end all be all of games, and with Clemson, they're going to go in there with their back end of the secondary's gone. They're going to start two guys that, I mean, they lost Pride, they lost McQuaba, and they lost Higgins. All three of those guys aren't going to be playing. Barrett Carter's going to be out there.
Higgins or
Well,
Wiggins?
Wiggins. I'm sorry, Wiggins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they lost
no,
Higgins several years ago. So,
yeah. I'm sorry, Wiggins. Whatever. They lost
here,
all those guys, and
Yeah, how
I
are
don't
y'all
know
going
if
to
these
replace
guys are going
y'all's
to be
back
motivated to
end?
play.
Do
They've
y'all
got
have anybody waiting in the limelight? Like, what's going on there?
No, well, it was supposed to be Pride. Pride was supposed to take over for
Wiggins?
Wiggins. Yeah, he was supposed to take over for
Wiggins
Wiggins.
is going in the draft, right?
Right.
Yes.
So you're
But
losing pretty much
Pride,
everyone.
well, that's what I'm saying. The back end of the Clemson defense in this bowl game is going to be the shits.
Let me pull
Now,
up
on the
Well,
these.
I
other
mean,
hand,
luckily for you, you're playing against a quarterback that can't hardly complete a forward pass.
That's true. Is Devin
right.
Leary
So
still going to be playing? He didn't
yeah,
get
I don't
hurt,
know.
man. What the hell?
Is
Uh,
Big Barney Ross should know about this. I mean, he's over there giving
Yeah,
NIL money to Kentucky,
where
I'm
is
sure.
DVR, man? I hadn't seen him comment
uh,
yet.
He's been there. He's coming.
look, look, Jerry Wells says Jackpot is Greg Atkins coming back next year. Interesting. You should bring that up. And on that sports talk show, they were talking about a stat, Rob,
Yeah.
and they were talking about, there's a big deal made up about all those injuries on the offensive line for Carolina this past year and how it hampered, so many things we wanted to do. Well, Beamer's 3 years, 21, 22, and 23. Last year, 14% of South Carolina's runs went for negative yardage. In 2022, 14% of them went for negative yardage. And in 2021, 13% went for negative yardage. We didn't have all those injuries those 2 years. So what's the excuse? I'm telling you what it is. It's coaching. You
Yeah.
can't tell me it's not. Those same two dinglings, you got the fat Arn Anderson, and he's still hanging around the program. Something's wrong. He had some kind of health issues. I mean, I know I'm not making fun of him. I don't know what it is, but this Teasley guy is like his sidekick. They're like, frickin' frack down there, and neither one of them are any good. That offensive line has regressed, ever since they've been in Columbia.
Quick note here. Well, we forgot to do this earlier. Please
So
enter the Callaway.
you can get all the rockets and turbos and space shuttles and jet streams and whatever rock you want to be in the backfield. You're not going to be successful unless you get that fixed.
All
Yeah,
right. Well,
I've
well
I've
let,
been.
all right,
Go ahead, Rob.
hold on for just a second. We've got to mention this before we forget Jackpot. We got to take care of our sponsors here in a second. But the Callaway's Bull Pick'em Challenge, you've got to get into it before Saturday
Yeah.
because that's when
Currently
the first game
we've
is
got
there.
20 people in it right now. That
That's
somebody wins it, they'll have a little bit of a pot to piss in, but they won't be able to afford much of a pot.
well, they'll have a pot to piss in, but not a window to throw it out of.
No, they
So
won't. So have you sent out the mass email to all the people that used to be in this thing?
I think I did. If not, I'll resend it again. But I'm seeing some people in here. It's a one-time pick, man. You pick all the games, and then they just watch it
It's a
go. Tiger in
one-time
the
shot, and
Burrow,
you just watch your wins just tick up, tick, 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 tick. That's what I'm gonna
Big
do.
Barney
I'm just gonna
Ross,
sit there this weekend, just watch all my picks that I got right come in. I'm gonna sit back like this, cock back. I might even have a cold beverage of sorts.
Brock Lee. If you guys could get into the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge, that would be great. So there's that. Frothy
Well,
Tavern says, "Where's Uncle Lou and Pete?" I don't know. I don't. Did something happen to Uncle Lou and Pete that I don't know about, Jackpot?
I saw Uncle Lou made a video yesterday. Looked
yeah,
like he was
talking
in a
about
Yeah,
hotel
Rayola.
room.
yeah.
He's
They're. I
probably
mean, I'm
just.
sure.
He's probably, man, just taking a break. I would too
Yeah,
after I just lost a
Well,
24
I
game
mean,
win streak.
I didn't want to say anything. Pigskin Pete. Somebody had put in my comment section the other day that he had suspended all of his live streams and stuff because, and they said it was because of the Florida State situation. He was so mad that people were getting on to him, and I'm like, he doesn't. He's not the type of person to do that. I'm like,
Did he
so
really?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
no, but
odd.
he put a video up on. He has another channel, and I didn't even know he had another channel. Pete Podcast. It's not a big channel or whatever, but he said he's got some issues that he's working on, some
Probably got
demons or
strikes.
something that had bothered him in the past, and that he's having to kind of take some time off from YouTube and stuff
Mm.
to get himself straightened out. So hopefully everything works out good for him.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll be all
yeah.
right. He's a pretty
Good
strong
luck.
dude.
Good luck to Pete, and I like Pete. I think Pete's great. So whatever the fuck it is that's bothering
yeah.
Pete,
You never like to
working
hear
out,
people
Pete.
having personal issues.
Let me
But
answer Charlie's question here. The Pick'em Challenge is $20. Go to robinkaleshow.com. The form is there. You send Jackpot $20 and you're in. There you go. I mean, it's very, very simple. robinkaleshow.com. If you have issues, you can reach out to me on Twitter at RobSoundsGood or via email rosanders1979 at gmail.com. So, yeah. But get
well,
into the Pick'em Challenge. It's really cool. And then it gives you something to look at during the bowl season.
yeah,
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I haven't had enough time to do it, so because we pick all of our games here, but Robin, we decided not to do that. We did it last year, and it literally takes like an hour
Yeah.
to go,
That's
and that's just like skimming over all of them. There are a lot of games there. What are some of the ones beside the Clemson game? What are some of the ones that you think are interesting? I think the UMC
I
West Virginia game might be interesting. West Virginia is actually favored in that game, and I think Dicky Dew declared for the draft, so that's probably
right.
why West Virginia's favored.
hey,
Um,
Troy
I
versus Duke should be a barn burner.
yeah,
In my
um
everybody's excited. They're dropping babies everywhere to get to that game. UCF and the Nerds.
yeah.
That's
I
interesting.
like I like Arizona and Oklahoma. Oklahoma
Yeah,
lost their quarterback. Arizona finished the year on fire. I think that's going to be good.
That Oregon game,
Um,
man. The Oregon game. I
yeah,
think
that
that's gonna
might
be
be
Oregon and
good
good.
too.
Liberty.
I kind of like Mizzou and Ohio State because I wonder, if Ohio State really wants to be there. And
No, they've had a
Mizzou is
bunch of opt outs. They'll be
right.
starting a new quarterback. They'll be starting Devin Brown at quarterback. I think Travion Henderson He's opted out, right? Marvin
Right.
Harrison wasn't
Yeah.
there for the draft.
So
Did
I
you
mean,
guys
they
see
may run their
the?
guys out there, but who knows? But I kind of look forward to that game, and then
Yeah, I think
uh,
Mizzou will beat
I
them with all those guys because Mizzou is one of those kind of teams that, if, for some reason, it kind of reminds me of Clemson a little bit. They've got kind of a goofy ass head coach with this, weird culture that he gets everybody to buy into, and I can just see like nobody opting out of their bowl game and everybody being, there for it and whatnot. So I expect Mizzou to win that one. Because Ohio
yeah
State's not gonna,
Yeah,
they're not gonna give a shit.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. Mizzou's gonna be more bought in. I mean, did y'all see the
Hell, I mean,
celebration they had
Missouri
in the
might could
locker
beat
room?
them even if they were bought in. I mean, they've been really good this
There was
year.
like a video of them celebrating, finding out they were playing Ohio State. They were all jumping about. Um,
yeah.
but
But
yeah,
I
What a
mean,
shit
I'm
show.
telling you right now, South Carolina has got to, with these people they've got coming in, they've got to get someone to coach that offensive line that we need to start getting some push, start moving the damn football, stop
I
fucking
agree.
around, start playing better on defense, and they need to start beating some of these damn. There's no reason why they should have lost to Missouri 5 years in a row. No reason that their program should be leveled up and ours is not. I'm not buying it. And if Shane
No.
Beamer can't get the job done this year, then I'm really soured on him anyway. After this season, he pissed me off a lot, but I'm willing to give him another year because I'm generous like that.
Well, I
But
was
Well,
looking
it's the
at the.
holiday. It's the holiday season, Jackpot. Of course, you're generous.
And then the thing with Florida, I mean, these people are ready to fire Billy Napier. Fire Billy Napier, run him off. He's no good. Fire him, fire him, fire him. And Lou made this point on a video probably a couple of months ago, and I'd never really thought about it this way, but he's actually right. The only decades that Florida was any good was the '90s, the 2000s, and then like the very beginning of the 2010s. Other than that, they've been hot dog water for like 70 years. So what's going on with them right now is not really out of the norm. It's just them kind of regressing back to what they have always been.
Yeah.
And I hear that thrown around so many times. I hate that argument that just because, and I understand that's not what you were making, and Lou was, but I mean, damn, just because you were fucking shit in 1920 don't mean you can't win today in 2023. That's just the most asinine argument in my opinion, and people throw that around like South Carolina all the time. You couldn't win in fucking the 70s. How are you going to win in 2023? Motherfucker, we've got state of the
Well,
art facilities now. It's all about putting emphasis into the program.
He was
I
using it to make fun of Florida, sir. So
I know, but I hear it thrown around all the time at South Carolina that they can
oh
never be a winning program because they
oh
haven't
they
won
never
in
been no
time.
good in 100 years, which is not
Exactly.
true.
Well, and again, it's just how much emphasis you're putting into the program at the time. When you put more emphasis into a football program, obviously it's going to have more success. South Carolina chooses to share their athletic money more rounded out than most other schools. So,
South Carolina in the early 1970s. I'm going to be honest with you, right? I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. South Carolina is, and I know we beat our SEC drum. South Carolina is an ACC school. They should have never left the ACC. They got pissed off about basketball because, like, North Carolina got preferential treatment in basketball. Okay, well, who
yeah
gives a shit? Okay, I mean, so win your games and do your thing. So they left the ACC and they went and became an independent. Well, and they were an independent for like 20 years in football. Well, I mean, the years that they were an independent, they were really good. I mean, they had a bunch of ACC teams on the schedule and they beat all of them. So, I mean, what does that tell you? I mean, they could have had more conference championships if they had just, not been stupid.
well,
Look,
yeah.
I don't think that I think that South Carolina has a lot of the stuff that you need to be a competitive program. Um, I mean, they've had some bad luck, and I think that that's a fair thing. The year that They went to Tennessee and lost with that fucking team where Spurrier had issues with the timeouts. That was probably
Uh,
the best Gamecock team that I've ever seen. And they had no
that was
business losing to those fucking hillbillies. And they
yeah.
lost to
I
them
was in
with King Howard as the running back.
I was actually in Dollywood that day, and that was
Yeah.
the first outing that I'd ever really took away from home anywhere. Um, with the wife. That was in 2013, and
Yeah.
they, thinking that your phone wasn't what it was then, and I had to keep refreshing the score and refreshing. I'm like, and at first it said we won 23-21. Then I refreshed it
Right.
again, and it said final score Tennessee 23-7. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. And then I heard a couple of yahoos uh, belching out.
Out in
I was
the
like, you got
moonshine
to be kidding me.
stills,
What's that?
yahoos and bullets hitting 10 roofs.
Yeah, it was something like that.
But
What a shit show.
I was looking at the schedule. I'll tell you that LSU game, second home game, that's gonna be electric, man.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'll tell you, it's rare South Carolina gets like truly, really elite teams coming in. Into Williams-Brice. Usually we got to play them on the away.
Well, we
Man,
just
I
did the
hope that's a
last
night
game of this
game.
past season, sir.
I know I said usually. Like the last one before that was probably Alabama in 2019. Was
No,
the
you
last time a
didn't
big.
hear what I said. I said we had a truly elite team in there the last game of this past season.
No, I'm
Yeah.
talking. Well, come on now. I'm talking about. Come on now. Let's not go that far. I don't think
No,
Cade's.
the last one, yeah, the last really big. I mean, well, yeah, it probably was Alabama in 2019.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in 2019 when the Taters came there, I mean, they played for the national championship that year.
Well, I'm more so meaning outside of like our every year,
Oh, okay, I
opponents.
got you.
Yeah, like I know we get Georgia and Clemson, but it's interesting to have teams like Alabama or LSU come in, and
Yeah, Alabama.
it's
That was the
refreshing.
one where was that the one where Muschamp faked the field goal or
Yeah,
something?
I was at that game. They called back the
Alabama,
fucking
Alabama,
50
Alabama.
field goal.
They faked the field goal and scored on it, and then they called it back.
Yep, like a 50-yard Parker White run, and then they faked
Yeah,
a punt too that they called back.
yeah. What did we lose that? We lost by like what 20?
Yep. Najee Harris, as a matter of fact, hurdled someone for like a 45-yard touchdown.
Is that the one where Jerry Judy caught like an 85-yard touchdown pass?
Yeah, that was the one where Tua just kept killing us with drag routes. Nothing but drag routes.
You knew that was coming.
Yeah,
Mm.
nothing but drag routes. But
What a mess.
yeah, I'm excited for this next year. I'm not like most people. Well, I wouldn't even say most people. I don't think most people are like this. Or you always hear the narrative of like people being scared of a tough schedule. I'm excited, man. I like having a tough schedule. I like playing the best teams in the country.
Well, I mean, it's the same tough teams. I mean, you're figuring. I mean, like, okay, well, you replace Georgia with Alabama, and you replace like fucking Tennessee with LSU,
Exactly.
and then Oklahoma as well. I mean, that's another.
That's just a
good
fuck
team
year. But
showing
they're going
up.
to be playing. You're going to get one every year between Oklahoma and Texas, so you know what you're signing up for when you let them in. So I'm not mad.
Well, personally, I like the schedule. I mean, because of the fact
buys
that
are perfectly placed.
no, I mean, I like the fact that you go out there and as a fan, you're like, fuck, we're playing damn real teams. We got some real motherfuckers coming in here, and you may go 4-8. You know, I'm not saying you will, but you'll go 4-8, but you're playing a real ass schedule.
Yeah,
you don't have
it's
any
not like
bums on that schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Akron, Wofford, and Old Dominion and Vanderbilt. You know, but the rest of that schedule's tough.
Yeah.
And
well, I'm glad we got two.
Good, though, you know?
I'm glad we got 2 tune-up games this season. I didn't really like the trial by fire last year, to be quite honest, with getting North Carolina before you know what either team looks like. So I'm glad we got Old Dominion and then Kentucky before we take on LSU. That way I'll be able to, kind of know what my team's about. I just don't like – I know Clemson plays Georgia to start off the year next year. Yep. I hate those.
That's a loss.
Yeah,
that's a loss.
What does Clemson have any other tough out of conference games next year?
No, I don't think
I
Gamecocks.
so.
just saw that y'all played Georgia because the Georgia release. I don't think has Clemson even released their
Don't they
schedule.
play App State?
I'm checking right now. I can't remember.
I think you play App State next year.
Yeah,
Hey, that's a tough
I'm
one, man.
looking.
The Mountaineers don't come into town and leave with empty-handed, man. They're gonna take their pound of flesh. I know all too well. 2019, I think it was 2019. I was at
It
that game
was. That
too.
was the fucking dorky ass.
I'll tell you, we about won at the last minute. They put on a little fighting effort there at the end. I don't know where the hell that was for 4 quarters though.
That was what.
Fucking.
Yeah, they threw that. Brian Edwards caught a pass, but it was out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
All right, so they've got Georgia, App State, the Citadel, South Carolina. Uh, yeah, and then they get Stanford on the schedule next year. It's one of
Stanford.
the well, yeah, because Stanford's joining the league, so they'll be their
Oh
first.
shit! I forgot about that.
Yeah, so Stanford will
Goodness.
be the team they get. They got to go to Florida State. They got to go to Pitt. They got to go to Virginia Tech, which I'm telling you now is going to be a tough thing there. To be honest with you. Hold on,
Enter Sandman.
let's welcome Viper into the show here.
What's up,
Viper,
Viper?
what's up, buddy?
Niggers.
What the fuck?
Get him out. Get him out. Get him
Yes. We're back. I don't know who the hell that is, but
I've
he's got to
probably
go.
should put a porn bomb on there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get
we're
him out.
probably. These people got to stop putting porns out there with Jackpot's dick in them. I heard that's where the last one was. I don't know. I didn't pay
Yeah,
attention,
it's
but
trademarked, so you're not allowed to
yeah.
use that.
But how many Clemson fans do you think are gonna make that trip out to California
Well,
every
no,
year?
that game's in Death Valley this year, but
Well, are you gonna
um,
play them every year though?
yeah, I don't know how that works, but we'll see.
If memory
I,
serves me correctly, you lost to Stanford the last time you played the tree.
hey, we
I
should
think it was like
probably
in 1924.
No,
hey,
it
hey,
was in the '80s.
hey,
You played them in a Gator
hey,
Bowl.
hey, y'all listen. Y'all should probably delete and restart the stream because that guy was dropping hard R's.
I didn't hear him. I didn't hear him say anything. I didn't hear him say anything.
I was seeing Bulldog said that. I thought I heard that, but I wasn't 100% sure.
I
So
didn't.
I'll
I
leave
didn't
it up
hear
to
him
y'all.
say anything. So
It was
you
really
know,
distorted, so maybe it was just
I didn't hear anything. So I mean, I don't think, and he was less than 3 seconds. So I think we'll be okay on
Yeah.
that. But
okay. Well, yeah, I just think it's crazy that they're putting in schools from the West Coast. That's going to be such a shitty travel schedule, man. Going out there for, oh God, they're going to have what? How much jet lag is there going? There's like 5 hours, 4 hours going up to
Yeah.
California. Because I imagine are they going to play those games like they do in the Pac-12 too, or are they going to start at a reasonable time?
I don't know. I think that I think that's just a pile of shit, and it's nothing against Stanford,
They'll
Cal,
make
all
those
those
road
guys,
games.
but
They'll make them start those games early so they can, if it's supposed to be on at noon, they'll probably make them start those damn games at 9 a.m. because it's the ACC and
yeah,
it's East Coast based thing. It's not a fucking California based thing.
Hey, Tiger in the
yeah.
Burrow, are you like trying to call me stupid? I fucking walked into your school, bud, and I made it my bitch. Okay? So keep fucking
Mhm.
typing. Like, what are you talking about? I don't understand how someone with a Clemson logo, he probably didn't even go to Clemson. Where's your ring, Tiger? Call up and show me your ring. But until then, yeah, like I said, Rob, I just think it's crazy they're doing that, especially for like the lesser sports that probably aren't even going to get a jet. Like, I imagine you're still going to have to play Stanford in like women's soccer or women's volleyball. They're going to have to bust
Yeah,
those teams out there, man. That's going to be
yeah.
awful.
We'll have to see about that.
Well,
Jackpot, let's
we
thank our
were talking
sponsors
about
really
that
quick
on
here.
we were talking about that on the Pigskin Pete does an ACC show every week or whatever. Was doing one with Sea Dog, and I called in. Oh, excuse me. One night and was asking about those small, excuse me, smaller type sports like that playing road games, and He said they were working on something like where that like they wouldn't have to do that.
Maybe like a neutral site or something.
Yeah, either that or they just wouldn't like play each
Wouldn't
other
play
at no
them.
sports.
I mean,
All
yeah, that
right,
just makes
so
sense.
Rob, I gotta move on, man. I got a
Peace.
couple other I want to get to, but thanks for hanging out, buddy. We'll see
Yep.
you later
Y'all
on.
take care. I'll leave
See
y'all
ya.
with this. It's good to be a Gamecock. Just wait for what Beamer's got in store, baby. We're not done. Let's go.
Jesus. All right, let's welcome. Let's see here. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
Doing well. How about you?
What you got for
Good.
the show this evening, there, man?
Oh, I'm sorry. The last time we had a stream and you were on here, you kept getting cut off by Octavian and Florida State, man.
Oh, no problem. It was kind of entertaining, if you ask me.
Yeah, it was very entertaining. Listen to Octavian spit all over his phone receiver. It was music to
Funny
my
enough, on
ears.
one of Twisted Rooster shows, he came back. He came on that, and I got to hear him do the exact same thing. So,
Um,
I wonder if Octavian has like one of those long phone cords that we had in the '90s, and he chokes himself with it. I wouldn't be surprised. He's like running around Florida, Florida, and ends up choking himself with the
it's
phone cord.
possible.
I'll give him this.
Awesome.
He's very loyal and very passionate about his team.
That's true. There's that. All right. Well, what do you have for the show this evening, sir?
I wanted to know what you think, Rob, about the Gator Bowl matchup between Clemson and Kentucky.
I think it's going to be a shit show with backups playing, and no one will give a fuck about it. But it's one of those things where, Clemson's going to be expected to win because they're a better football program than Kentucky is. Kentucky wins though, and they'll hang a banner and they'll talk about it until the end of time. It is it's a shit show. I mean, I'll watch the game because but in the end, and people got pissy with me when I said this last year. These bowl games are not important anymore. They really aren't, and they're hard to to sit there and say, hey, you know what, I'm really looking forward to this because my team had a decent season and they're going to do you know something good there. But in the end, it's like no one gives a shit. I mean, really, no
Even
one
the New
gives a
Year's
shit.
Six games.
I think that. I mean, if you look at the New Year's Six games, I mean, I don't think Ohio State. I don't think they want to be in that game against Mizzou. We kind of talked about that earlier.
I
Um,
hope James Franklin puts a boot up Lane Kiffin's ass.
that might happen because I don't know if Lane Kiffin will have his guys motivated for that game. Georgia's going to beat the holy fuck out of out of FSU. So, you know, I don't know, man. It's it's a mess, and I don't think the bowls
I was
matter.
looking. Sports Talk Jay put out some kind of video today, and I haven't watched it yet. But I don't know if you've heard anything about this, Rob. He said it's something about House of Representatives or something getting involved with Florida State and the
Yeah,
playoffs.
I read
What?
something about that, but I don't know. I mean, well, they don't have a leg to stand on. I mean, if you were really that pissed off about it, okay, what you could do is um you could tell the Orange Bowl, you know what, fuck off, we're not coming. I
Yeah.
mean, and then leave that money there, and then get pissed off and just say we played our last game, we're going to be perfect on the season, we're not doing that. So if they really wanted to do something about it, but other than, I mean, bitch, anytime that and I'm not trying to be political, but anytime that you get Congress involved in something, they're going to fuck it up. I mean, that's just the way that it is. You think that the congressmen from fucking Florida aren't going to be on the floor sparring with the congressmen from Alabama, and you'll have one set of hillbillies against another set of hillbillies on the congressional floor. One will come out with a chart that'll have fucking bar graphs and all this shit on it, but all of them will be upside down, and you'll still be trying to explain them. I mean,
Well,
it'll be
and then
a
the issue
shit
will
show.
turn into anything but the issue at hand.
Right. I mean, and here's the thing. I don't like. I don't think that the matchup. I don't think that Florida State without Jordan Travis as a team that I want to see as one of the best four in the country. Did Florida State do everything they were supposed to do? Yes, but in the end, when you really stop and look at it, what was the toughest game Florida State played this season? I would venture to say
LS,
Clemson on the
LSU
LSU matchup
Clemson.
at the beginning of the season. So let's just put this into the perspective. If Jordan Travis doesn't play against LSU and Clemson, they don't win those two games.
No, they don't.
And we're not even talking about this. So I mean, I think
Honestly,
it's that important. So
honestly, even if they had Jordan
They
Travis, in my
also wouldn't have
opinion,
beaten Boston College. They wouldn't have won a lot of those games.
yeah, they had a lot of
I
close
mean,
wins.
it's definitely fair to say that, and I have no issue with them being left out. And I know that like, and by the way, Clemson fans have pissed me off on Twitter and everything else because they're running their mouths about like trying to get behind their ACC brother in Florida State. Are you out of your fucking mind? You motherfuckers don't remember when those cocksuckers were down there and cheating and doing all this other shit and stealing shoes
Florida
and
State
fucking
wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire.
yeah, and Peter Warwick out there breaking a dick off in you at Death Valley and Chris Winkie throwing the ball all over you, being fucking 87 years old in the pocket. You don't remember that, and now you're like, oh, poor Florida State. You know what? Fuck Florida State. Until the end of time. I'm glad they're not there. As a Clemson fan, that's the way that you should be because you're going to be competing with them for recruits anyway. This whole thing about I feel sorry for Florida State. Fuck Florida State. To the end of time. I don't get that. It's like we have to stand behind them because they're our ACC brethren. Fuck
Um,
that. Fuck
Harvey
that until the end of time.
Harvey Wickenbacher Films wants to know where does he sign up for the buy one get one free cooter. If you'll go to Rob's and the Rob and Kel Show website and click on the link for Rob's Shake Shack, there's details on there about the buy one get one free cooter sale.
Yeah, well, there's that. I don't.
Did you
I get
you didn't
really mad
notice
about that.
me the other day when I was talking about Shea Beamer Rob and not landing any of those guys Sunday, which I guess I got to renege that because he did end up landing some of them.
I
But I
did the
was so
same thing.
aggravated about
Don't
those
feel bad.
visits and how we didn't hear anything from him, and I'm like, I don't think this guy could give away buy one get one free cooter on a troop train.
I'm with you on that too. But Mike Norvell, by the way, this motherfucker here running his mouth, and it's like there was some feed where they were talking about he was talking about how disgusting it was, and all these Clemson people are like, "We're behind you, Coach Norvell." Fuck that, you motherfuckers. I mean, what the hell is wrong with you? Cheer for those assholes? Not one damn bit. Especially Florida State. I could get behind. You know what? We could support Virginia because they had the shootings or whatever, and Tony Elliott's there and Virginia pride. Okay, I can halfway understand that, but fucking Florida State, fuck out of here. Fuck off with that whole fucking thing. Sorry, jackpot. Anyway, um, Big Barney Ross says Dabo Sweeney's the Tiger King. Jackpot, can we do our sponsors quickly here? Because we kind of forgot. We got to do that really quick here. We
Sure.
have Callaway's Bar and Grill out in West Columbia, Highway 1 diagonal from the Walmart. Make sure you get into the Callaway's Bowl Pick'em Challenge. It's very simple. Go to robandkaleshow.com. The link is in the show bio there. It's $20. The contest starts on Saturday. So you pick all your games before Saturday. The first game is the Myrtle Beach Bowl, which
Woo!
is Georgia Southern and Ohio. I offered to take Jackpot down to Conway to go to the Myrtle Beach Bowl, and he turned me down. He's like, I ain't
Yeah,
doing that.
I have to stick my goober in a meat grinder that day, but thank you for
Yeah.
asking.
Anyway, Georgia Southern and Ohio, that's the first game. We go from there all the way down. There are, I think 41 games to pick there, something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, pick the bowl games. It's a one
It
time
might actually
thing.
be a decent game. I don't know.
It might, and it might not. Who knows? But either way, you pick the bowl games, all of them are right there for you against the spread. Whoever wins will get the jackpot at the end of the season, and with that, you will get all of the money. It's the way that it works. So there's that. Make sure you get into the Bowl Pick'em Challenge, sponsored by Calloway's in West Columbia. If you're coming to town to Christmas shop or whatever, stop by Calloway's, Highway 1, diagonal from the Walmart in West Columbia. Have some wings, some food, all that good stuff at Calloway's. Also have DNC Trucking and Transport, Fireside Chats with Uncle Jackpot. Jackpot's going to tell us a story today. Jackpot, what do you got?
Indeed, I am. It sucks to be a Gamecock. Our football schedule was released today, and we will probably finish looking like homemade shit. Our coach took to Twitter today and acted like the clown he truly is. 4-8 next year may be the ceiling. It sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
That message courtesy of Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport. Shout out to Dennis. Dennis has been battling some health stuff and got to get well, Dennis. Get well, sir. There's that. All
Rob,
right.
as
Well,
SEC bias, when's Rockabilly going to Rolling Mills? I'm going to try to go there sometime before the end of the year.
yeah, why
I
not?
didn't know. I looked it up on Yelp. I didn't know it was a food truck.
Hmm,
And it's only open from 11 to 7. It's not
yeah.
open on Sunday. So I'll have to kind of hit it at the right time. Did you see that Rockabilly did a video of a Dairy O this past Saturday, Rob?
I've got to get up on my Rockabilly stuff because I did not see it. I'm
Well,
subscribed to the Rockabilly channel, but it doesn't give me the notifications. Why is that?
I don't know. Do you have the bell clicked?
I'm checking it right now. I mean, hold on, let me check and see.
Well, you have to click the bell.
I need the bell. But Jerry wants to know if you went to the Beacon. Did you go to the Beacon?
No, I went to Dairy O in East Flat Rock, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Well, you just want to know if you went to the Beacon. That's all.
Uh, I don't. That Beacon's not the same anymore. Ever since that older black guy died, that was up there that used to take the orders.
Yeah, I
You know
remember
what I'm
that.
talking about?
Yeah, it was like, come on, come
He
on, come
sat
on,
up
all
there.
that.
He sat there. Call it. Call it. Call it. It's kind of intimidating because if you got up there and you didn't know what you wanted, he'd send you back to the back of the line. Go on. Call it.
Yeah, there's that. Oh yeah, right. I've clicked the bell now, sir. So we're good there.
Big Barney Ross says go to the. They used to have a Western Sizzling in Clemson. It was like the last remaining one on earth. That's closed down now. I think
Brock
they're all
says you,
gone.
Brock says you can't spell Utz without UT. God damn it, Brock.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, anyway, what else have you got there? What are you doing? You're on break right there, right?
Uh,
40.
Interestingly enough, I've got two finals left on Friday, and then I'll be done for the semester.
So two finals on Friday. So I guess there's still people on campus, right? So what is?
Yeah, they're just it's quiet, Not many
Hmm,
people are walking around.
yeah. Well, are you going to go Saturday and get yourself like, I don't know if you saw this or not, Jackpot, but they're giving away all the concessions. You get like free popcorn, free hot dog, free soda, free water if you go to the
Oh yeah,
Gamecock game on Saturday.
Oh,
yeah, I
really?
heard about that.
Yeah.
Ah, I might need to go
If
to
I,
6. I think.
well, that's the thing. They've got the women play at 1 and then the men play at 6. So it's like you go and buy yourself a ticket for one. I mean, you have to buy 2 tickets, I'm sure. And then you could be going there, get your ass some hot dogs and some popcorn, and just watch. I
So
mean,
you
the
can
game.
like
The men
watch
are
the women's
playing.
game and then like technically eat some popcorn and hot dogs, and you can fall asleep for a couple hours and then watch the men's game.
Yeah, well, I think you have to buy a ticket for the men's game too. But the reality is
Oh,
that that's not a bad way to
they ought to give the damn tickets away for that. It's get some asses in the seats.
for the women's game. I mean, it's like that the women's like. Oh, they're all sold out. Like Don
Who do they
Staley
play?
packed that house. Uh, I don't know. Hold on. I think I got it right here. Give me a second. I'll tell you. It's I'll have it here in a second, but it's like it's nobody of consequence. Let's just leave it at that. It's like okay, here we go. I got it right here. So
It's a
the women
sellout
play.
though.
They sell out every game. I mean that's not a joke. They sell out every game. So the number one Gamecocks will play. Oh God, they're going to play Presbyterian. They're going to
Oh
win that
my
game
God.
by 80. So they'll have Presbyterian in the morning, and then in the evening the men play Charleston Southern. Blowout after blowout after blowout, sir. That's
Yeah,
what you
they're one
got.
of the worst. They're one of the worst teams in Division
Cupcakes.
One. Um,
Cupcake City.
they fired their coach too. So
Yeah. All right. Well, Sporty, you got anything else, man?
That's honestly all I have. I appreciate y'all letting me on the show tonight.
no,
Well, appreciate it as
you for
always,
showing up
man.
for the show.
Jackpot, you got anything else you want to do, man?
In terms of what?
You got anything else that you want to add to the show besides join the Callaway's challenge? That's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we go, I just wanted to look at a couple of these bowl games and maybe
Yeah.
see
What do you got, Jackpot?
see
My the games that I like the Missouri game with Ohio State. I kind of like I like Troy and Duke. Air Force and James Madison might be interesting.
what about
And
how is why is Virginia Tech an 8 point favorite over Tulane in the Military Bowl? Is that our quarterback?
I guess everybody's out. I don't know.
Her
Derek,
quarterback Michael Pratt just declared for the NFL draft, I think, and then plus their coach, what was his name? Willie Fritz
yeah,
left to take the job at Houston, right?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so
Um,
I guess that's
who was
why.
it? Uh, what's the shitter bowl? That's a good point there, Jerry. We had to pick a Kale Hall
Uh,
shitter for these
there's a lot
bowls.
of them.
You know what
Probably,
I'm gonna go with?
Texas
I
State and Rice.
how
Well,
about
Bowling Green. How does Minnesota in the fucking bowl game? They have a losing record.
I don't know.
Didn't have
I,
enough
I
Big Ten teams with winning records or something.
I guess so, and I guess their APR was the highest. But row your boat at 5-7.
That's a
Georgia
joke.
Tech, Georgia Tech and UCF might be interesting. Um,
Kansas, and UNLV.
yeah,
Uh, Louisville and USC in the DirecTV Holiday Bowl.
some of these bowl names are the shits, by the
There's
way.
no Caleb Williams in that game. Texas A&M plays the Mullet in the Texas Bowl. Uh,
SMU and Boston College. I mean, that's
yeah,
a.
Rutgers and Miami in the Pinstripe. NC
Mhm.
State and Kansas State in the Pop Tarts Bowl.
Yeah, Pop Tart Bowl. Ugh, what a shit
Oregon
show.
State, the Beeve, and Notre Dame might be a good matchup.
Might Auburn and Maryland in the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl.
Oh, great. It's two teams I can't
Yeah,
stand. Um, Iowa and Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee really got the shaft here in the bowl matchup. I got to
I
tell
think
you.
Tennessee's going to beat the holy fuck out of Iowa.
You think?
I think so. I think Iowa's the shit.
Yeah, but
So
Iowa is the number one ranked defense in the country. They just can't score.
okay, I think Tennessee will do well. Let's just leave it at that. I think they're going to win. That'll be one of my picks. I'm taking Tennessee to win that game.
They're
So
8.5 point favorites. I think that's too much.
I think
And
they'll cover that
it's
game.
not because I dislike Tennessee. Well, I mean I do, but I that's gonna be an odd one.
There was one other one that I was looking at. It
They look
was
really bad against Michigan though, so I don't know.
like the 29th is like a good day for the bowl. Like the early matchup, you've got Clemson playing in the Gator Bowl early. and then Oregon State, Notre Dame after them, and then Memphis, Iowa State, and then you wrap up with Mizzou and Ohio State. That's a pretty good day to sit on your ass and watch football all damn day. With you know,
Yeah. Jerry Wells said, I remember one year during the Little Caesars Bowl, you could get a hot and ready for $4 if you printed out a coupon. Back when I had the Little Caesars Bowl, the hot and ready wasn't much more than $4, was it?
yeah, I think so. I'm not sure about that.
Didn't they used to remember when the pizzas there were buy one get one free all the time?
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Good night, baby. See you later.
Then it
So
went that way. What?
Coastal and San Jose State. That should be interesting. Like I think that San Jose State's such a big favorite because a lot of the Coastal kids opted out. But
Yeah, and then you had one transfer to the Gamecocks.
yeah, there's that too. But
I
yeah,
don't know.
it's
I think this is the first player we've ever had from Coastal.
might be right about that. Might
So
be right about that.
why can't Dabo Sweeney land any the offensive lineman in the portal?
Well, see that was something I kind of wanted to get into tonight before we get out of here. What a shit show! It's like he kind of puts out there, hey, we're going to get into the portal. He offers a guy, and then that guy goes to Penn State, and what I mean, it's just fucking stupid at this point. And Clemson will probably have zero people from the transfer portal, zero. And it's like they're putting all this stuff out too about how uh, they're really happy with the offensive line. I'm not the offensive line, the wide receivers that are coming in from the actual signing class. And it's like, you know what? I don't want to hear that shit. Tired of hearing that shit, man. It's like you've got to enter the portal or we're going to end up being fuckos. You've got to do it. It's like it's not a I mean, when you go out and you after the season that you had and you don't make any changes as far as hey, we're going to bring guys in with a transfer portal, it's a pride thing now with Sweeney because he
Have
ran
you?
his mouth before about it sucks and now he just won't back off.
I wanted to bring up
So
something. Have you seen the Netflix show The Wrestlers? Have you watched any of that?
I have. It's really good.
It did, and so that guy on there, the Matt Jones, the co-owner or whatever, he hosts that Kentucky Sports Radio, right?
Right. I've had him on my rundown show in Columbia. He was a good guest on there.
Yeah, well, this past season when we beat Kentucky, he had I listened on YouTube to a clip of his show, and he made a pretty interesting point. I thought was kind of funny about Kentucky and South Carolina. That there have been like, are they rivals? Are they not rivals? Well, he's like they're definitely rivals. He's like it not geographical rivals. He said they're rivals in that he's like the past couple of years he's like have are there any two programs in the SEC, he said, other than South Carolina and Kentucky, who have talked more and won less?
I think he's right. He's kind of right.
Now,
Definitely
if
right
you take
about
that over the past 10 years, you'd have to put the Vols in that conversation.
that. That's true.
But yeah,
That's
I thought
true.
that was kind of funny.
Yeah, he's right about that. Some people put some good stuff out there, but that's a very valid point. So, yeah, Thomas says we need to try to get Jeff Scott back. I mean, to coach the wide receiver, sure, that's okay with me. Want to bring him back to coach the wide receivers? That's fine. After that, it's like, all right, whatever. But at this juncture, they've got to go out and get some guys from the portal. I mean, can you imagine if Sweeney went out and got like he could go and get? I mean, I'm sure that some of these guys would come there. There's some defensive backs he could go and get some help and
Oh yeah,
not
he
have to
should be able
rebuild the
to.
entire secondary. But
You'd
it's just
think, I mean, with
pride.
the reputation they have, you'd think that for some jabroni on a team that's not really good, that has some skills, you'd think that would be a destination spot.
Well, it's not. It's a shithole spot right now as far as the transfer portal goes. And
He's
here's the
always
thing
been a
too,
shallow
like,
spot, but
but the reality is that the one thing that Shane Beamer does that's great is that he's used that transfer portal to bring guys in that have been really good. I mean, Wells and and Rocket Sanders has had been a good SEC back, and I mean even bringing in guys like Mario Anderson and guys like that to come in.
I mean that is
Beamer's
one
been
thing I
open to
do.
that.
I mean that is one thing I do appreciate about Beamer. I
Rattler
guess
too.
is
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
he does embrace like the new and the trending things and I guess like pop culture and what's going on with. I mean he seems to be more in tune with the a 20 something year old or a 19-year old and what's going on in the world with them. Instead of you've got some of these other old curmudgeons like Saban and I guess Dabo to some degree that are just like kind of out of touch.
Yeah, Rattler's good too. That's true. And R says he brought them in but can't develop them. Yeah, can't argue that either. It's a good
Well,
point.
that lies with his coaching staff. So
Well, and it's hard for him to develop coaches because he's a young guy himself. So there's that too.
not
I
that
don't know.
young. He's my age, your age.
Yeah,
He's like I mean
he's
he was born
young,
in 70. He's born
but
in 77. He's almost 50
but he's
soon.
he hasn't had any time to develop coaches as a
Would
coach.
anybody, if you looked at him, would you think he's that old? I wouldn't.
I mean, at least he doesn't look like Heupel. That Tennessee job is killing him. He looked like a vibrant individual when he got there. Now he looks like a diseased Oreo. Fucking job is killing him.
Oh God.
It really is. Look at him. So, Fireball wants to know how many games you think that South Carolina will have next year. Wins.
I I
Yeah,
I couldn't even. I don't know, man. I'm not trying to avoid answering it.
look.
I don't know.
I think that when I
I
look
got
at
to
the
see what some of
schedule,
these other teams are going to have coming back.
right? But when I look at the schedule, I think that if you had
I
to,
think they're going to surprise you and win more than they did this year.
I think that there's 4 wins on there automatically. And then the 2 other ones are Mizzou and Kentucky. What's Kentucky going to have? And Mizzou's going to drop off. I know that they're not going to have Schrader. They're not going to have the guy in the secondary who's going to be a first round pick. They're going to be off a little bit,
Who
and
you
they have
talking
to come
about?
to
Chris
Columbia.
Abrams' drain?
God, I can't remember this. It's the kid with the weird name. The player that's in the secondary for them. I have to look it up, but he's going in the NFL draft. So hold on, let's see. I'll pull it up right now. But who is
Whenever I talk
it?
about Chris Abrams' drain, whenever I say his name, I always have to say motherfucking in the middle. Chris Abrams'
Enos
motherfucking drain.
Enos Rakestraw is
Oh,
going to be gone.
Rakestraw. He was
Yeah,
hurt a couple of games at
but
the end of the year.
he's I've seen several NFL drafts that have him late in the first round, so they're going to lose that, and they have to play in Columbia. Maybe they can get those 6 wins. Now the other games
They're
that
going to return Luther Burden and uh and him
yeah,
Brett Norfleet, the
mhm.
tight end, the ginger, something they called him on the Mossad cast. I can't
And
remember.
then Brady
Guys,
Cook will be there too. I think Brady Cook is a
is he?
junior, so yeah, I mean he's a junior. I don't think he's going to the draft.
Fuck.
Yeah, so you'll have Cook there too as a senior.
Fuck.
So
Well, he didn't really do that much damage to us this past year. Cody Schrader just ran all over us. So it was
well, Cody Schrader ran all over everybody. You
have to
weren't
deal with that.
special. I mean,
Yeah, that
so
was yeah. We need to find out what they did to develop an offensive line because I think South Carolina
they
has some
got better.
athletes to play offensive line. They're just not being coached properly. You can't convince they cannot be that terrible. I mean they just can't. Something's
There's
wrong.
that. All right. Well, there you go with that. Please enter the challenge if you can. RobinKaleShow.com. We'll try to get as many people as we can into that. And as always, we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you later on, Jackpot.
All right.
Here you go.